In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on October 25th, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Charlotte Hornets versus Atlanta Hawks. After kicking off their respective campaigns with victories, the Atlanta Hawks and Charlotte Hornets are set to clash on Friday, October 25th, as both teams aim to build early season momentum. Each team is coming off promising performances in their season openers, setting the stage for a fast-paced and competitive matchup. Both squads will be looking to keep the energy high and capitalize on the confidence gained from their first wins. The Charlotte Hornets may be dealing with some lineup issues, as forward Tidjane Salon is currently listed as questionable for Friday's game. Meanwhile, the Hawks are already missing 2 key contributors, Bogdan Bogdanovic, a crucial scoring threat, and veteran center Cody Zeller. With these absences, the Hornets will be feeling optimistic, especially after pulling off a surprising victory over the Houston Rockets in their opener. Charlotte enters this matchup with quiet confidence, hoping to take advantage of an Atlanta team that looks somewhat vulnerable due to its injury woes. Although the Hornets have had their struggles in recent seasons, they have consistently matched up well against Atlanta. In fact, Charlotte managed to win 3 out of 4 games against the Hawks during the 2023 to 2024 season. This recent dominance is further reflected in their overall head-to-head results, as the Hornets have come out on top in 7 of their last 10 meetings with Atlanta. The Hawks, by contrast, have won only 2 of their last 9 encounters with Charlotte, suggesting the Hornets have a solid blueprint to compete effectively against this division rival. A major storyline for Charlotte will be whether LaMelo Ball can replicate his explosive performance from the opener. Ball looked sharp in the victory over Houston, but questions remain about whether this level of play is sustainable given his history of injuries. If Ball continues to play at a high level, the Hornets have the tools to keep pace with an Atlanta defense that has struggled to impose itself. Charlotte's young and energetic roster could present a significant challenge for the Hawks, especially if Ball stays healthy and productive. The Hornets not only performed well head-to-head last season by going 3-1 against Atlanta, but they also covered the spread in those wins, going 3-1 against the spread. Over the last 10 meetings, Charlotte is 7-3 both straight up and against the spread against the Hawks, demonstrating that they've consistently exceeded expectations. In contrast, the Hawks were unreliable in betting terms last season, covering the spread in only 16 of their 36 games following a win. Atlanta's record as a home favorite was also underwhelming, and over their last 84 games, the Hawks have only covered the spread in 29 contests, a dismal 34% return on investment. While the Hawks are being given the edge as home favorites, their narrow win against the Brooklyn Nets in their opener raised some concerns. Atlanta struggled to close that game and could have easily lost if not for some fortunate plays down the stretch. On the other side, Charlotte's win over Houston was fueled by a stellar showing from Ball, and if he maintains that level of play, the Hornets will have significant betting value in this matchup. Given Atlanta's injury situation, especially with Bogdanovic out, it is somewhat surprising that the Hawks are favored by such a large margin. With their depleted roster, the Hawks may find it difficult to justify that status against a Hornets team that matches up well with them historically. Although the Hawks are favored at home, the value lies with Charlotte as an underdog, given both recent trends and Atlanta's current injury concerns. With the spread providing some cushion, the Hornets are a smart pick to either keep the game close or possibly pull off the upset. So the Charlotte Hornets to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. When it comes to the total points, the numbers point toward betting the over. The over has hit in 28 of Atlanta's last 42 home games, generating a 27% return on investment. Additionally, when the Hawks played on just 1 day of rest last season, the over came through in 28 out of 49 games. Charlotte's offensive performance in their opener also provides optimism for a high-scoring game. The Hornets made enough three-pointers to suggest they could have another hot shooting night against an Atlanta defense that ranked 28th in opponent three-point percentage last last season. The Hawks struggled in their opener to contain perimeter shooters, indicating that this could once again be an area of vulnerability. While the Hawks have some injury concerns, their offensive firepower was on full display in their opener against Brooklyn, where they shot nearly 49% from the field. Atlanta's ability to dominate inside and draw fouls played a key role in their win, and that strategy could prove effective again, especially with the Hornets missing key frontcourt players. Charlotte will be without Mark Williams, their starting center, and rookie Brandon Miller, leaving them exposed in the paint. Even with some key players sidelined, the Hawks still have plenty of scoring options who will look to exploit the Hornets' interior defense. Both teams were among the bottom 10 in opponent scoring last season, which further supports the expectation of a high-scoring game. With two rosters built around fast-paced offenses and shaky defenses, the over is a strong bet for the full game total. Therefore, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Pistons versus Cleveland Cavaliers. This evening promises an exciting matchup in the Central Division as two teams with contrasting fortunes this season take to the hardwood in pursuit of victory along the picturesque shores of Lake Erie. The Detroit Pistons will be hitting the road to face off against the Cleveland Cavaliers on Friday night. The Pistons, in their last outing, had opportunities to secure a win but ultimately fell short, losing 115-109 to the Indiana Pacers in a home game where they failed to cover the spread as 5.5-point underdogs. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers are riding high after a decisive 136-106 victory against the Toronto Raptors, where they comfortably covered the spread as 6.5-point favorites in their season opener. Historically, the Pistons have a strong all-time regular season record against the Cavaliers, holding a 132-105 advantage. However, it's noteworthy that the Cavaliers have managed to win the last 9 meetings between the two teams, including all 4 matchups last season. Their most recent encounter occurred on March 1, 2024, when the Cavaliers claimed a 110-100 victory on the road. As the Pistons prepare for this contest, they will be facing some challenges with All-Star Thompson sidelined due to illness. On the other hand, the Cavaliers will also be without Max Strus for at least the next 5 weeks, which could impact their depth. Despite their recent loss to Indiana, Detroit showed signs of promise in their opening game. Cade Cunningham was particularly impressive, leading all scorers with 28 points. The starting lineup appears to be finding its rhythm, but there are concerns about the team's ability to maintain competitiveness when the bench players come in. The Pistons seem to experience a significant drop in performance with their second unit, which lacks experience. For those betting on the Pistons, focusing on first-quarter wagers might prove to be a more strategic approach. In stark contrast, the Cavaliers showcased an impressive performance in their season opener against the Raptors, winning by a commanding 30-point margin. This dominant victory indicates that the new head coach is pushing for more contributions from the versatile big man, Evan Mobley, who delivered an outstanding performance with 25 points. Meanwhile, guard Darius Garland had a quieter game, which is worth noting moving forward. Given the ongoing speculation about potential trades involving their core players, Mobley, Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Jarrett Allen, how Garland performs will be under close observation. For Cleveland, this matchup against Detroit represents another favorable opportunity to build on their momentum. Last season, the Cavaliers swept the Pistons in all 4 of their encounters, extending their winning streak against Detroit to 9 consecutive games. While the Pistons appear to have made strides since last season, the current betting line suggests that their improvements have been matched by the progress of the Cavaliers. It remains to be seen if this assessment holds true, but one must consider that the Cavaliers may be somewhat overvalued following their dominant display against Toronto. The Pistons had their chances against the Pacers but ultimately faltered during critical moments, a situation not uncommon for a young team still finding its footing. However, credit should be given to Detroit for keeping the Pacers under pressure for most of the game. Now, as they prepare to take on a Cleveland team brimming with talent and featuring several returning players from last season, they face a formidable challenge. The Cavaliers demonstrated their offensive prowess by shooting exceptionally well in their victory over Toronto, and with this game being played at home, they will have the advantage of familiar surroundings. Cleveland has the potential to deliver significant blowouts, especially if they can replicate their nearly 60% shooting from the field, but the Pistons are expected to present a strong challenge in this contest. The Cavaliers possess the capability to dominate games, particularly if they continue shooting nearly 60% from the field. However, I am hesitant about placing large bets at this early stage of the season. It's also important to remember that the Pistons nearly pulled off an upset against the Brooklyn Nets in their season opener, and displayed a strong defensive performance throughout the preseason. The enthusiasm surrounding Cleveland's performance may be a bit overblown, leading to the conclusion that while Cleveland is likely to win, Detroit may keep the game competitive enough to secure a backdoor cover. Therefore, the Detroit Pistons to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In their regular season opener, Detroit fell short of the projected total as their game against Indiana resulted in a combined score of 224 points, falling short of the set line of 235.5 points. Last season, the Pistons concluded their campaign with an overall under record of 41-40-1 over their 82 games. They struggled with turnovers, ranking near the bottom of the league with an average of 15.2 turnovers per game, while managing a tempo that placed them ninth in the league with an average of 99.8 possessions per contest. In contrast, the Cavaliers exceeded the total in their opener, racking up 242 points in their win over Toronto, surpassing the line of 225 points. Cleveland also finished last season with a 41-40-1 record on totals. They averaged 13.6 turnovers per game, ranking 17th in the league, while their pace was notably slower, sitting at 22nd with 97.2 possessions per night. Historically, the under has been favorable in recent matchups between these two teams, with a record of 7-2-1 in the last 10 meetings. In the 4 regular season games between these teams last year, the under prevailed 3 times, with an average combined score of 219.5 points per game. During the previous season, the Pistons ranked 7th in the league for possessions per game at 103.3 according to TeamRankings.com, while the Cavaliers ranked 24th with 100.2 possessions. Notably, neither team has made substantial changes that would enhance their offensive potency significantly. In their opener, the Pistons struggled with their shooting, especially when attempting three-point shots in the closing moments. While all of their starters managed to score in double digits, only one player exceeded 17 points, and the bench was unable to contribute effectively. Conversely, 2 of the Cavaliers starters scored 7 points or fewer, but their bench was more productive in this instance. However, they may have fewer opportunities to shine in this matchup. Given the trend of the under-hitting in recent encounters between these two teams, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Bulls versus Milwaukee Bucks. The Chicago Bulls, currently holding a record of 0-1, will be aiming to secure their first victory of the season as they take on the Milwaukee Bucks, who are off to a strong start at 1-0. This highly anticipated matchup is set to take place on Thursday evening at the Pfizer Forum, a venue known for its electric atmosphere. Fans are eager to see how the Bulls will respond after their opening game, which did not go as planned. In their season opener, the Bulls faced a tough defeat against the New Orleans Pelicans, losing 123-111 as 5-point underdogs. Meanwhile, the Bucks enjoyed a successful start to their season, securing a 124-109 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers while being 4-point favorites. Historically, Milwaukee has had the upper hand in recent encounters, boasting a 7-3 record in their last 10 games against Chicago, which adds another layer of challenge for the Bulls as they look to turn their fortunes around. In terms of personnel, the Bulls remain hampered by injuries, with Lonzo Ball officially ruled out once more. On the other side, the Bucks are still without K.A. Tris Middleton, who is currently recovering from an ankle injury. In their season opener, the Bucks demonstrated impressive offensive capabilities on the road, achieving an impressive shooting percentage of over 53%. Now returning to their home court, where they recorded the 4th highest scoring average in the league last season, the Bucks will look to capitalize on their strengths. They showed proficiency at the free throw line and have been one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the league. In contrast, the Bulls struggled defensively last season, particularly on the road, and their opening game did not inspire confidence as they allowed over 120 points to a Pelicans team that was missing their star player, Zion Williamson. Given these circumstances, it seems likely that the Bulls will find it difficult to contain the high-powered Bucks offense. The Bulls' offensive performance in their first game left much to be desired. Their three-point shooting was subpar, and they converted less than 70% of their free throws. Adding to their woes, they were careless with the basketball, committing a staggering 21 turnovers. Meanwhile, the Bucks have a strong defensive record at home, and they set a solid foundation in their opening game by keeping the 76ers under 110 points. This indicates that the Bulls may face an uphill battle in trying to score effectively against Milwaukee's defense. The Bucks kicked off the season with a bang, showcasing their dominance with a decisive 15-point victory over Philadelphia. Star players Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo wasted no time establishing their chemistry, combining for an impressive 55 points while shooting efficiently from the field. New additions to the lineup, Taurean Prince and Gary Trent Jr. seamlessly integrated into the starting five without missing a beat. In stark contrast, the Bulls struggled in their opener against a Pelicans team that was missing key player Zion Williamson. Last season, the Bucks were formidable at home, boasting a 31-11 record, and with the added excitement of a home opener, they are likely to overwhelm a Bulls team that has not yet found its rhythm. As the Bulls look to rebound from their disappointing performance against the Pelicans, they face another daunting challenge in the Bucks. If they are to find success, they will need to discover more scoring options beyond their star players, Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic. On the other hand, Lillard, who faced some difficulties adapting to the Bucks system last season, appeared revitalized in his recent game and could potentially deliver another stellar performance. Given their shaky start, the Bulls must now travel to face a superior opponent. In my initial analysis of the Milwaukee Bucks, I mentioned that they could start the season with strong momentum. Lillard appears to be in excellent shape this year, and Antetokounmpo is healthy and ready to make an impact. The Bucks, who seem to have been overlooked by many, could emerge as a formidable contender this season. Meanwhile, the absence of ball diminishes the Bulls' chances, leaving them without a crucial playmaker and further exacerbating their challenges. I anticipate that while the Bulls may manage to stay competitive in the first half of the game, ultimately, the Bucks will assert their dominance and secure their second consecutive victory. Therefore, the Milwaukee Bucks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In terms of scoring, the Bulls have recently exceeded the total points in 5 out of their last 6 games, and the Bucks have similarly gone over the total in 5 of their previous 6 contests. In their season opener, Chicago managed to score 110 points despite not shooting particularly well. They played at a brisk pace, finishing with 110 possessions during the game. The Bucks, meanwhile, allowed 109 points in their opener and finished the previous season ranked 20th in the league for defensive efficiency, surrendering over 113 points per game at home. On the offensive end, the Bucks scored an impressive 124 points in their first game, operating at a slower pace with 102 possessions. The Bulls allowed 123 points in their opener, finishing last season ranked 21st in defensive efficiency, giving up more than 115 points per game. Notably, in 2 of their last 3 encounters, the Bucks and Bulls combined to score over the total. Entering this matchup, the Bucks are riding high after shooting 54% from the field and 43% from three-point range in their game against Philadelphia. The combination of Dame and Giannis, who together scored 55 points, appears poised to replicate or even exceed their impressive performance against a Chicago team that recently allowed 123 points to a Pelicans squad lacking their star player. However, it's worth noting that the Bucks' defense was not as tight as it could have been, allowing a Sixers team without their top players to score 109 points and only forcing 10 turnovers. Last season, both teams averaged a combined score of 231 points per game while allowing 230 points per game, indicating that while the total line may be close, I believe there is a strong possibility that the game will exceed the projected total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.